In the quiet town of Raven's Hollow, nestled between the looming trees of an ancient forest, life was tranquil and the nights were peaceful. But one fateful evening, as the clock struck midnight, a chilling wind swept through the streets, carrying with it the distant strains of an eerie carnival music. The townsfolk peered through their curtains, their curiosity piqued by the sudden arrival of the Midnight Carnival. The carnival materialized as if it was from thin air. It just appeared out of absolutely nowhere, its dark and twisted tents springing up on outskirts of town, illuminated by flickering lanterns that cast eerie shadows on the ground. A deep sense of foreboding washed over those who dared to approach the otherworldly spectacle. A hushed murmur spread among the curious residents, each one torn between fear and intrigue. Even among the fear, they made their way to the carnival grounds, drawn by an irresistible force they could not resist. The Midnight Carnival, shrouded in an otherworldly mist, was a sinister and enchanting sight. The rides and attractions that greeted the visitors were unlike any that they had ever seen. A Ferris wheel spun endlessly in silence, its rusted gears creaking ominously. A haunted house beckoned with an eerie glow, and the grotesque clowns leered from their shadowy booths. As the townspeople wandered through the carnival, they soon realized that something was terribly amiss. The carnival's attendees were disappearing into absolute thin air, one by one, as if swallowed by the very darkness that surrounded them. Panic began to spread like wildfire. Maggie, a young woman with an insatiable curiosity, ventured into the Hall of Mirrors, lured by the promise of discovering the carnival's secrets. Inside, the mirrors distorted her reflection, stretching her limbs and contorting her face until she was absolutely unrecognizable. She stumbled through the hall, searching for an exit, but the mirrors seemed to multiply endlessly, trapping her in a never-ending nightmare. Elsewhere, John, a middle-aged man with a fear of heights, found himself strapped into the Ferris wheel's rickety seat, far above the ground. As the wheel creaked and groaned, it spun faster and faster, defying gravity. John's screams were drowned out by the eerie carnival music as he plummeted toward the ground, only to find himself absolutely unharmed and strapped back into the seat, repeating the cycle endlessly. As the night wore on, more and more townspeople were incarcerated with their worst fears, each trapped in their own nightmarish ordeal within the Midnight Carnival. Desperation set in. The remaining townsfolk gathered in the center of the carnival, determined to confront whatever malevolent force was behind the twisted nightmare. With trembling voices, they called out to the carnival's mysterious ringmaster, a figure cloaked in shadows who appeared on a darkened stage. "You have entered a world where your fears become reality," the ringmaster hissed. "You can only escape when you face your deepest fears and conquer them." The townspeople exchanged fearful glances, but realized they had no choice. One by one, they confronted their terrors. Maggie shattered the Hall of Mirrors with a defiant punch, revealing the truth of her own inner strength. John closed his eyes and leaped from the Ferris wheel, only to find himself safely on the ground, overcoming his fear. As each person faced and conquered their fears, the Midnight Carnival began to unravel, its eerie enchantment fading away. The carnival's malevolent magic lifted and the townsfolk found themselves back in Raven's Hollow, the clock striking midnight once more. Though they had faced the horrors of the Midnight Carnival and emerged victorious, the memory of that dreadful night haunted them for the rest of their lives. The carnival had vanished as mysteriously as it had appeared, leaving only a lingering chill in the air as a reminder of the night their worst nightmares had come to life.